everybody, this is Brenna with Portland Public Health and Maine SNAP Ed, and today we are going to make some dry roasted chickpeas. This is a really quick and easy recipe. It's super inexpensive, and at the end you get a crunchy, salty snack. So the things you're going to need are a baking sheet, some measuring spoons, a couple soup bowls or mixing bowls, a fork or a spoon, something to mix your chickpeas into the seasoning, and that's about it. For ingredients, you need some chickpeas, onion powder, garlic powder, cayenne pepper, and parsley and salt. But a great thing about this recipe is if you don't like these specific seasonings that I chose, you can really flavor these however you want. So I like things a little bit spicy, so that's why I'm adding the cayenne in there, but really you guys can use whatever seasonings you like when you make this recipe. So the first thing you want to do is preheat your oven to 400 degrees and wash your hands. It's the most important part, especially in these times. So once you have done that, you can open your can of chickpeas and rinse them out in the sink in a colander. Leave them in the sink for a minute to kind of dry on their own while you put your seasoning mixture together. So I used a teaspoon each of the onion and garlic powder, the salt, and the parsley. I used a half a teaspoon of the cayenne pepper just so it wouldn't be super hot, but again, flavor it however you like. So that's what we have in this bowl is the seasoning. So I'm going to take a fork, kind of just mix that around a little bit so it's all together, and then set that aside. Once you have done that, you can go back to your chickpeas in the sink and put them out on a paper towel, which I have in front of us right here. This just helps dry them off a little bit, and you can kind of pat them dry to get some of that excess water off. And once you've done that, you can put them into your empty mixing bowl and take some of your cooking spray. This is just an olive oil one. And spray the chickpeas just a little bit so that they are coated with the cooking spray, and that helps the seasoning stick to them a little bit better. And then you can kind of mix that around a little bit so that they're all coated. Your next step is going to be to put your chickpeas into the bowl with the seasoning. You can set that empty bowl aside. Take your fork again and just kind of mix them all around in the seasoning. Make sure they all get really well coated. Okay. And then you can take your cooking spray and spray your baking sheet with it so they don't stick in the oven. Take your seasoned chickpeas, pour them onto the baking sheet over here. You might have some extra seasoning at the bottom of your bowl. Not all of it stuck to my chickpeas. So if that's the case, I would try to not get that extra seasoning on your baking sheet. Otherwise, it's just gonna burn in the oven. So take your baking sheet with your chickpeas and kind of just shake it around a little bit so they all spread out. And then really that's it. You can just put those right into your oven at 400 degrees. I did a batch of these earlier. I baked them for 30 minutes, and they are a little bit on the crispy side. So depending on your tastes, you can either do 30 minutes or maybe 25 if you wanted them a little bit less crispy. And then just put them in your oven for however long, 25, 30 minutes. I would go into your oven and shake them out a little bit every 10 minutes or so, just so that the bottoms of them don't get super, super crunchy. But that's really it. And then, like I said in the beginning, you get this crunchy, salty snack. It's full of protein and really inexpensive and easy to put together.